We're in a bit of a heat wave in the UK at the moment. Everyone's feeling a bit, well, wonky. Keep watching. Hello, welcome back. It's GotAUkulele review day. As ever, summary video review. For the full written review, you always find linked in the description box beneath these videos. There's also a bunch of other links down there as well. This is my weekly thank you for these people who've donated to help keep this site going. There's some links down there where you can do the same. I say this every week because I am not a commercial site. I'm not being paid to write nice things about instruments. They would be pointless reviews. They don't help anybody out. So I only keep going with thanks to kind people like this who donate and chip me a tip here and there. It's much appreciated. That's also much appreciated, and that's free. That really does help as well. If you subscribe to the channel, it gets my videos out there and seen by more people. I'd appreciate that too. Okay, this one, a brand of new luthier built instruments from the UK, which I've been keeping an eye on for over a year now, and I've been desperate to get my hands on one. I'll just get into it and show it you, because just look at that. This is the Willgrove White Wonkylele. This is a soprano Wonkylele, also available in concert and tenor. Right, okay, wonky. Wonky indeed. It seems a bit churlish of me, as I say in the written review, to have to explain who Willgrove White is. He played in the Ukulele Orchestra of Great Britain around the world for over 30 years. Very well liked guy, very, very well respected professional ukulele musician. Hung up his orchestra ukulele fairly recently and decided to continue doing something in the ukulele world, but going back to one of his real loves, which is making things with wood. So he set up a workshop, got the tools in, and then discussed building ukuleles with a bunch of very revered UK and European luthiers to help him out and give him some tips on the way. And Willgrove White ukuleles were born. He makes a bunch of instruments, very traditional styled instruments in most of the scales, but the ones that really sort of caught a lot of people's eye are this offset neck and bridge Wonkylele. It's very, very quirky, and I appreciate not everyone's going to like the look. I actually do, and because it's quirky, and I say this because the ukulele is a quirky instrument, I have to say it. Look, this is a guy who dressed up for 30 years in a dinner suit and tail and bow tie, and played places like Carnegie Hall, the Royal Albert Hall, played in front of the Queen, playing a tiny little instrument in a ukulele orchestra. Now, if that's not quirky, I don't know what is. So a quirky uke built by a quirky guy for a quirky ukulele world. I think all of that fits really nicely. I keep sort of holding it that way, but actually, you know, that shows the the wonk. Embrace the wonk. I kept saying in the written review. But it's a serious instrument. Now, as I said, not everyone's going to like the look of it. I do. I did have some more technical concerns about it, which I'll come on to a little later in the review, but let's get into it. Handmade luthier instrument, all solid woods, like all of his instruments are. This one is all solid walnut, and it's beautiful wood. Two pieces on the top, back and sides, but look at the quilting and patterning in the grain on this, and that's really good quality wood. See how the colour's changing as I tip it. Quarter sawn wood, very, very nicely done. Really nice choice of wood. It's beautiful wood. Walnut is beautiful. I prefer my sopranos to be mahogany because the darker, woodier tone for the very small-bodied instrument. So this has more dynamic range to the tone, so it's probably going to have a bit more brightness, but also a bit more bass. But there's a lot more to it than that in the build as well. But otherwise, this is other than the wonk, this is a very traditional shaped, styled and dimension of a soprano, very much in the Martin style, skinny front to back, small little almost figure of eight shape, very, very vintage, old-timey. The bridge is very vintage, old-timey, and also very reminiscent of Martin, albeit Martin didn't put theirs off-centre like that. It's made of ebony. It's a slot bridge fitted with a Corian black straight-topped saddle, very, very small, not a lot of real estate being taken up on the top of the small body, and very little decoration. Also like Martin's, we've got an inlaid sound hole black and white ring around there, no binding or anything else. But when your signature style here is the wonk, do you really need binding or decoration? It's really, that's the talking point, is the shape of the thing, because that shows you just how wonky it is. The body is finished in a hand-rubbed true oil, which is lovely on the hands. I love true oil finishes. It's not shiny, super glossy, but it's nice and clean and just beautiful. It's like a very nice piece of furniture. He's chamfered off the edges of the top and back really nicely as well. This part, really nicely built, really nicely finished. No complaints at all. Inside, very tidy, notched linings, regular braces, and a little treat with Willgrove white ukuleles, which I can't show you on this camera. Deep inside, have a look at the written review on the website to see what I'm talking about, because more quirk for the wonk. There we are. Right, now the neck, this offset, he hasn't just simply built a standard ukulele and just screwed a neck in a slightly different place. He's actually, this is kind of built into the body. He's used a violin maker's joint, kind of a dovetail, where this part here of the body is cut out and then a notch put in to the neck block inside. There's also the back extension of the back wood, which covers the back, called the button, for more support. So it's very strong, very robust, and the whole thing's built around the neck effectively, with obviously the bridge being placed in a different offset position. This being a right-handed one, left-handers, he puts the neck on in that way, so there is a difference. The neck itself is made of oak, reclaimed oak, beautiful grain on it. That's a heavy wood. I hope it's not going to throw the balance off of the instrument. He's hand carved it all the way. It looks like a single piece of wood all the way up, although there is a small stack on the heel, which you really have to look to see. What I really like is how skinny it is at the back. I really like it's a soprano with 37mm nut width and 30 string spacing. This is exactly how I want a soprano neck to be. The boxes could not be ticked more for me on this. Shallow back, wider than average nut, decent string spacing. Very, very nice indeed. Very traditionally topped again, more jet black ebony. I never get the focus right on these. With this sort of old-timey end styling shaping. It's not edge bound, so you see the fret ends, which are sort of old bar shape, bar flat topped frets, very, very traditional looking frets, but they're dressed really well. There's no sharp edges at all that I can feel. Real minimalist look, no outward facing dots, and a single solitary dot at the fifth to find your way around. I've actually spec'd a ukulele like that before, so this is, Will didn't know that. He hasn't sent me this because this is a like of mine. That's just absolute minimalism that he likes. If you want more dots, he can fit them, but that's absolutely fine by me. I love that. I love how simple it is. The nut, more black Corian, that's also very traditional, isn't it? Sort of straight out the 1920s banjo headstock. Very, very nice, faced in ebony. That looks great. These don't get any better. These are GotAUkulele planetary tuners, the benefits of gears, but they face backwards, so they don't give such a beautiful little instrument ears and just keep that old-time headstock look, but you've got the gearing, so that's really nice. He sent this one over with Ukulele strings, but you can choose what you want to go on it. It's an interesting one because he said he puts Ukulele on because that's his string choice. I see quite a lot of people online sort of scoffing at Ukulele like they're beginner strings or not serious strings, which is absolute nonsense, because Ukulele are played by some real very well-known professionals, Willgrove White included. So if they're good enough for those professionals, I know Phil Dolman always used to use Ukulele strings. I don't know why people give them a bad rap, because they are used by some gigging musicians and they should know. But anyway, you have a choice. People will ask, yes, it fits in a regular hard shell case. It arrived in one, that's not included. The price is a serious price. It's not they're cheaper than some of his other instruments, but it is not an impulse buy. But this is a handmade luthier built instrument. I really want to just talk about that. The price in this spec is £825, so it's quite a bit of money. But you recall I did the review of the Ken Timms, which I said was too cheap. The prices went up and everyone blamed me, but I stand by it. We are talking about man hours, time. Even if you ignore the bill of materials, the tools, the workshop, the power, all of that has a cost. £825. How many hours do you think this takes to make? 20? 30? Something like that? That's £30 to £40 an hour you're paying him, just for his time and ignoring the materials. You'd pay your plumber twice that and nobody would balk. So why do we dumb down craftsmen making things? We should be building them up. £825 is fair in my book. And ukulele makers who are going cheaper are really cheap. I think this is a fair price. As I say, 30-40 quid an hour you're paying him, ignoring the materials and his tools and his workshop and his rent and his power. Come on, it's not a lot of money. You wouldn't worry about spending that on your plumber. I'm banging on. Anyway, beautifully made, beautifully finished, wonderful neck, wonderful tuners. Love everything about it. I understand that not everyone is going to go in for that look, but I like it for the quirk. I did say at the beginning though, I did have a couple of reservations. My first one, was it going to be comfortable to hold? Well, it's incredibly light at 410 grams. It is an oak neck, but it balances wonderfully at the 12th. Extremely light at 410 grams. But to hold, resting on the knee, it works. It's just kind of, and playing freestyle with no strap, it's sort of, it's neck up, but it kind of puts the neck where your hand is sort of naturally wants to go. So comfort wise, tick in the box for me. My second concern was whether that bridge position being off the optimum center of the resonant soundboard and off to one side was going to kill the volume and the projection. No, it doesn't. I like my Sopranos with a real punch bark. This has a real punch and bark. It's a good, loud soprano. The sustain is never high on little Sopranos. The sustain's a bit more average on this, I must say. But at least there is some. I've heard more on some high-end Sopranos. But it's not a problem. It's not a problem because it's bouncy, peppy, rhythmical instrument. This is walnut. As I said earlier, I prefer mahogany for the darker, sort of woodier tone. Now, walnut is a woody tone. We are in tune because I've been playing this quite a bit. Walnut is a woodier tone, but it's got more breadth, so you're going to get more highs and more lows. So it's a richer tone. Sorry, that's me. Really bouncy, peppy, jangly soprano. Yeah, that's how I want Sopranos to sound. Sopranos aren't really finger pickers, although chord melody works with them. And I think it's the case here. What I'm sensing with the tone is it's quite a laid-back soprano sound. Let's not say quiet, and it's got that punch, but a bit more, less Martin, less vintage Martin, more Kawaya, I think, to my ears. I think the Ukulele may have something to do with that as well. Very Kawaya, yeah, it reminds me much more of the Kawayas, which are kind of more, yeah, laid back, not as punch in your face like something like the Ken Tims, but this is very accomplished. That is just... Yeah. This is great. This is great. So my technical concerns were allayed. It's so comfortable to hold. It just, I can't tell you how much it just fits into the hand. If you don't like the look of it, you've probably switched the video off already, because it's quirky. The instrument is quirky. Of course it's quirky. Will's quirky. The Ukulele Orchestra Great Britain are quirky. There's a quirky uke, and it isn't just quirky for a gimmick. It works. It works like a great little peppy, bouncy soprano. Very, very different, very fun, and really, really well made. He clearly knows what he's doing in making an instrument. Clearly, this is very well. God, that wood is really, really beautiful, isn't it? It's really, really good. It gets a great score. It gets a recommendation. The Will Grove White, handmade Wonkylele in soprano scale, available in a range of woods. He's a luthier. He'll take commissions. If you want more dots, you can have dots. You want different strings, you can have different strings. You want a different material for the bridge, whatever, you can have those. This one's in walnut. It's been bought already. It's not mine. It's going off to its buyer next week. I'm really, really glad you sent me this over, Will. I'm so pleased you did. I've been wanting to play one for ages, since I first saw the pictures you put up of these. It's a little cracker. I'm rambling on. It's so warm. I shouldn't be rambling on. This is the second go at this video. My camera's switched off this morning because of the heat. Yes, there we are. We're all feeling a bit wonky. Embrace the wonk. Embrace the wonk. Well done, Will. Anyway, take care, everyone. Thanks for watching. It is so warm in here. I'm off next week, but I'm back with one more before my summer holidays with the family, so I've got another one to fit in this month, and I will see you all very soon. Take care, look after each other. Bye.